first and foremost, you have to think outside of the box, because it's a million beautiful people out here. But you have to figure out what sets you apart from everyone else. You have to be that needle in a haystack, if you will, and you have to do something different.
You are now listening to the BV Mobile Apps Podcast. The show is designed to help you grow your mobile app audience and get advice from experts in your industry. Now, here's your host, Sean Garvey.
Yes, indeed, that is the name. I am the architect himself, yours truly, Sean Garvey, and this is the BV Mobile Apps Podcast. Before we get started, I want to encourage you all to go to bvmobileapps.com so you can check out the BV Mobile Apps Podcast exclusively. All right. Thank you for joining with us on the phone lines. Let me just say this, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to keep it all the way classy, boys and girls. All right. I feel like I'm on first class right now. And I'm literally saying that because we have a very, very special guest on the telephone lines. She is from the VA, Virginia, of course, but she currently resides in Buffalo, New York. She is a model, an actress, a radio show host, an entrepreneur. She's also a member of the legendary Fleet DJs, and you can catch her on 98.2 The Beat as well as on flameonradio.com. I hope I got that right. Flameonradio.com. Yes. And we're going to talk about some great stuff. And she is currently, ladies and gentlemen, she is currently a client of BV. Everybody listening to us, give a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, for the one and only First Class on the phone lines.
Yay! Thank you.
How you doing?
The introduction.
I'm glad you love it. Yes. How you doing, First Class?
I'm good. I'm real good.
Good. I feel like I'm on cloud 9 right now. You like how I'm doing the punchlines? Because your Instagram, your IG is on and popping. You are a very beautiful, attractive woman, and you're doing a lot of big things. We're going to talk more about your partnership with BV Mobile Apps. This is the broadcast, of course, where we are encouraging our listeners on how to brand their app and how to reach their core audiences. All right. So let's get a backstory from you, because you have a very interesting story to tell. How did you get into modeling, first off?
Oh, well, it started out when I started a childhood model for KinderCare and different daycares, Crayola. And then when I was in high school, I was told, oh, well, you know, you big forehead, Asian, you black and Asian, and I'm not, you know. Kids are cruel, and they're like, oh, big forehead, Chinese eyes, you know, just kind of have me feeling the kind of way, cat eyes and all that. So anyways, I was told I wasn't photogenic by someone, and then my brother pushed me out and just said, you know, you should give it a whirl again. Go ahead and try. And I'm like, are you sure? And he was like, yeah. And I said, okay. And he said, well, you got to come out with the name that stands out. You know, you can't be like everyone else, and you have respect for yourself. Because I was like, I'm not taking all them escape pictures and things like that. He was like, you don't have to because you're classy.
Right.
So we're going to call you First Class. And he was like, well, First Classy. And I was like, nah, I don't like that. I said, what about First Class, like top notch? He was like, boom, there it is. So, you know, I just started modeling, and I've been doing well ever since. It just like took off for me. I landed a Nike ad for, you know, Lost Fearless campaign when the basketball, why am I having a brain fart moment? Excuse me. But it was when the NBA, the All-Star Weekend. Yeah, All-Star Weekend in LA. I believe it was 2011. I lost my baggage, and I was just in the mall trying to buy some things because, you know, I'm in LA, came from New York, and I'm like, I need some clothes, you know, I'm just in my travel gear. So long story short, I got solicited by someone at Nike, and he recognized me from my Instagram and asked me would I do the campaign, and I'm like, you know, do the billboard, and I'm like, I don't have any clothes. He was like, no, whisked me away to the Nike store, got me all geared up in Nike gear, had me sign all these papers and contracts, and then an hour later I was on the billboard. And he said, your name is what made me remember who you are. And I saw you walking around. And I said, that's that young lady, First Class. And I said, yeah. And it was amazing because I really thought, like, yeah, right. Nobody really knows me. But, yeah, it was real cool. And that's all because of my name. I love it.
I want to talk about something that was serious to you at one point in time during your modeling career. And from my understanding, you took a hiatus for mental clarity. A lot of us heard of mental illness and mental issues, but mental clarity, elaborate on that and explain that, why you had to take a hiatus for mental clarity.
I work for the government, my 9 to 5. So that's stressful, in itself. And then I feel like it's healthy to kind of disengage with social media just for a moment and get back in touch with the real world, because we oftentimes get so trapped, so to speak, in our phones or the computer, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and I felt like, no, I've just got to step back, not be first class. I have to get to loving on dawn and just take a mental break, because, a lot of things that you read, you absorb, whether it's good, bad. I took psychology a little bit, so I'm like, I know that what you read, you absorb. So I try to keep what I do on social media. I try to keep it positive. I try to follow positive people and just keep that. But then I realized that it was a lot of negative things going on at that time, and it was just like everybody was just Debbie Downers, and I just said, I've got to take a break, and I've got to get to feeding my mind with good things and get to reading books that I can feel, put down the phone, put down the computer, just take a break from modeling, take a break from radio, take a break from everything, and just get back to me. So that's what I did. I find myself doing that often. Just to kind of stay grounded, because it's so easy to get consumed in the internet. So
right.
I don't want to fall in.
Yeah, and then when you're ready to get back into it, you're ready to get back into it full force.
Right. And then you're like, okay, I needed that. Now I'm back, and you're refreshed. It's like a vacation, if you will. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I've heard of course, obviously, Fleet DJs, which you are a member of. But I never heard, and excuse me for being so clueless, but I've never heard of Fleet Models. Can you talk a little bit about Fleet Models and how it will help aspiring models that are listening to us right now on the BV Mobile Apps podcast?
Absolutely. Well, Fleet DJs is Classic CEO. He's the CEO of the Fleet DJs, so shout out to Classic. It's comprised of DJs, models, producers, makeup artists, photographers. It's an array of people that do a lot of things in the industry. So it's not just radio personalities, hosts. We do everything. So when I started my modeling, my brother introduced me to Classic. So then he was like, well, give me some pictures and we can work it out. And so that's where I kind of started with my urban modeling and got out of the fashion modeling, because I wasn't doing really good in fashion. I mean, I was, but they would always want to put me in juniors because I'm only 5'3", 5'6" if I put on the correct size heels, 5'7" possibly.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm only like 5'2", 5'3", so I am short, so I can't do regular runway, which is what I initially wanted. And I found myself kind of being pushed into the urban side of things. So I became a Fleet model, and the Fleet models support the Fleet DJ. So when you see any mixtapes going on or any type of commercials, or, because they're all on radio and things like that, they use our images, for the cover of their mixtapes, and we do vocal drops and things like that. And it kind of helps cross-branding for us, because my following has built up emphatically because of the Fleet DJs, because they're not just located in the United States. The Fleet DJ is an international DJ coalition. So
right.
We have DJs in Africa. We've got DJs in the UK. So my following I'm gaining following from people in Africa, Japan, UK, Hawaii, various places, because that's where we have DJs, and they see my image and they hear me hosting these mixtapes. They're like, oh, let's go follow First Class or the other fleet models. So that's kind of like cross-branding helps promote your brand. And I would say for anyone who wants to get into modeling, first and foremost, you have to think outside of the box, because it's a million beautiful people out here, but you have to figure out what sets you apart from everyone else. Have to be that needle in a haystack, if you will, and you have to do something different. So if everyone's out here half dressed, make sure you take a whole lot of beautiful pictures fully dressed. Catch someone's eye that way. You're your brand, so make sure your brand represents you, because at the end of the day, if you put out something that you don't like now, it's never going to go away. It's always going to be available in social media world. Somehow they'll be able to Google you 10 years later and find images that you might not like. So remember that your brand is everything. And if you want to model and you want to get into being a fleet model, you can hit me up, because I am the manager of the fleet model. So all the fleet models have to come through me, and I manage, I think it's like about 12 ladies that are a part of the organization at this time. So if you want to become a fleet model, hit me up.
So we're going to deliver that contact information to our listening audience towards the end of the podcast, the BV Mobile Apps Podcast. Just in case you are tuning in, you are talking to the architect himself, Sean Garvey, and my special guest is First Class. We on Cloud 9 right now, ladies and gentlemen.
Yay!
Yes, because we have a certified model on the telephone lines to talk about her branding and partnership with BV Mobile Apps and her modeling acting career. And you know what? Speaking of acting, you was also in, which happens to be one of my favorite shows on TV right now, the She Gotta Have It series. You was in.
Oh, yeah.
You was in that series. I gotta talk to you about that really quick before we go any further, because it's one of my favorite shows on Netflix. Talk to us about your role in She's Gotta Have It.
I just was an extra. I played an extra in a few different scenes. But working with, and I didn't care, because like a lot of people said, well, did you go for a lead role? I said, I went for lead. I went for extras. I didn't care. I wanted to be in the Spike Lee, production. So I add that to my resume and agree emphatically, because I worked with Tyler Perry. Now I can say I worked with Spike Lee, and the list goes on and on. So that was one of the best experiences, though, in my acting life that I've encountered. Like, Spike Lee really, really, really is brilliant, and he treats everybody down to the extras, such as myself. I was in one scene where we were doing a game show, and then I was in another scene when the ladies' implants burst on stage. I was in that.
Yeah.
And I was in a couple of outside scenes when they were filming out there, and we were just like on the porch and things like that. So I was lucky and blessed enough to be a part of 3 scenes, because generally when he used you once, he didn't want to use you again, but I kept getting selected, so I was proud of that. But when I say he treats everybody so kind and so respectful, and just feeds you well, it's just, everybody takes good care of their people, but nobody takes good care of people like Spike Lee. He really impressed me, really did. Shouts out to Spike Lee.
Now, you can't just say his name anymore. You can't just say Spike Lee. You have to say Academy Award winning director.
Academy Award winning Spike Lee. You're right.
Yeah.
It was just an honor, and he's so very kind. I just can't say. He's serious, but very kind. Just very kind.
First Class on the telephone lines right here on BV Mobile Apps Podcast. We just got through talking about your acting side of the career. Go ahead and give advice to aspiring actors and actresses that are listening to us, how can they get into the industry of acting, and what is it that they need to do to prepare themselves for this particular industry? We already talked about the modeling side and what models need to do, but let's talk about the acting side.
Well, I would say to get a coach. If you are not trained actor, get a coach. You may think that you can act, but, they'll give you tips and techniques, and you don't have to do more than maybe 3 or 4 sessions, and they're all pretty reasonable. But I would say first get trained. Also, humble yourself, because you want to crawl. You have to crawl before you walk. So, like I said, when I was speaking about Spike Lee, I would take any role that I was given. I didn't say, I only wanted to be main cast. I don't mind being an extra. You can't mind being an extra either, because if you're an extra in 15 things, people keep seeing your face. You'll become recognizable that way.
Right.
Grind. Get out here. Take roles. It's a wealth of information available online. I put out a lot of information, even on my app. I will, now I'll put different links and things like that on my app, because I don't mind helping spread the word. He'll go to different casting companies. I've gone through Hilton Casting, and it's another one, Auditions Free or something like that.com. Check those out. Do a lot of searches, looking for casting calls in your area, and just go. Like, I have a manager now that helps and sends me all these casting calls, and then I forward them on to other people as well. I'll still go, but I'll forward them on, and just work. But the thing is, you can't give up, and it's hard. It's not easy, and you'll sit there, and you may be there for 10 or 12 hours, but you have to remember, set a goal and achieve it. Don't give up, because it's easy to say, that was tiring, I'm not going to do that anymore. But if you stick with it, it will pay off.
Now, let's go ahead and switch gears as far as marketing and promoting is concerned, because it's very important in this industry, and being that the professional that you are, it is very paramount that every day or whenever chance you get, you have to market and promote yourself. What were the methods that you used to promote yourself as a model / actress / radio DJ before BV mobile apps came along?
I had a website. I had a website, and I just started creating my own hashtag. And believe it or not, when you create your own hashtag and you keep, like, say your name, Sean Garvey, hashtag, and you keep doing it, it'll become a trend. Like, I would do a lot of Twittering. I would connect with a lot of people via Twitter, Instagram, and just make a lot of relationships with people. Like, you never know who knows who and who can help you get to where you need to go. So that's kind of what I did to kind of push myself out there. I just stayed active. I stayed on everybody's internet, and tweets and retweets. I mean, this is back when Twitter was really popping, but now we have Instagram and Snapchat. But I still use Twitter, but I would just say, basically, you have to, and keep your name the same across the board. Like, if you're on all these different social medias, make sure your name is simple and it's the same. Don't have like 3 or 4 different handles, because it makes people harder to find you. You could grow your following just by keeping it the same. I'm Firstclasse everywhere. Firstclasse on Twitter, Firstclasse on Facebook. They made me change it to Dawn Class because they, became strict. But Firstclasse across the board, and that's why I think I gained a lot of followers as well prior to connecting with BV mobile apps, which has helped me emphatically as well. But prior to, I had a website, and I actually liked the app way better than a website. I got rid of my website.
It's a great segue to talk about the app which you have. Talk to us about life during and after BV mobile apps.
Well, I met Mr. Gerald and Mr. Marshall at a Fleet DJs conference, actually. and that's where I was introduced to the BV mobile apps, and they told me, why I should have an app, and I said, that sounds good. I'm going to try it out, and it surpassed what I could ever imagine it being. I mean, it gives people the opportunity to have anything that you want them to see, or if you want to promote yourself, or you have something, an event going on, you just throw it on an app. And it, to me, was way easier than the website, because the website I had to go and actually use my computer. Whereas my app, I can just do it directly from my phone. So it has helped me a lot that way. I can see myself growing a lot bigger within my app, because now I'm getting into blogging for Straight Official magazine. Mm-hmm. So I've dropped a couple of interviews on my app, but I'm going to put more interviews and things like that there, and kind of get into blogging. But it gives you an avenue to do pretty much whatever you want to do. If you're into music and you want your music heard, you can put it on your app. If you're a model and you want to be seen, you can have an app. I mean, the app is the new it. Like,
right.
It used to be websites, now it's the app. If you have an app, you're saying something. A website, everybody's got that. But an app, you're saying something.
Now, how can people contact you if they want to book you for an event, if they want to have you come and probably host an event or be a part of a modeling event or something of that particular nature? How can people get in contact with you?
Okay, well, you can hit me up at Miss Firstclasse. That's MSFirstclasse @gmail.com. You can hit me up on my app. Plug. BV mobile apps at Firstclasse. You can DM me on Instagram at Firstclasse, Twitter at Firstclasse, and everything is FIRSTCLASS with the E.
Okay, so when I go and download the app, I'm going to see everything that you have going on. I'm going to see pictures. I'm going to see video. I'm going to hear some audio. Everything is in one place when people like myself and our loyal listeners go and download your app now.
Yay, thank you. I've got to update it. I was slacking a little bit on my app, but now I'm going to have it. It's going to be popping. Give me a day or two.
Yeah, I mean, hey, we're trying to give you...
popping.
Hey, listen, we're trying to give you 1,000 followers by tomorrow.
Yay. Yay, please.
Yeah, if we can, maybe 1 million, maybe a million, and we'll see what happens.
That's even better.
That's what's up. So I'm going to download the app. I'm going to check it out. And I want you to go ahead and tell the people how they can download the app. What do they need to do?
You need to go into your app store if you have iPhone, it's your app store. I'm not sure with Galaxy is. I know it's an app place. And it's Firstclasse, or if you have to type it in, I believe it's at Firstclasse.BV mobile apps, or is it BV mobile apps /Firstclasse? That might be it. BV mobile apps.
Right.
.com /Firstclasse, and it's still FIRSTCLASSE. And then you'll be routed over to my app, and you can just download me on your computer. You can download me on your tablets, your iPads, your phone. Just download me on any device that you have.
Firstclasse, and you'll be in there. You'll be in the class with Firstclasse on the
yes,
BV,
classes in session.
Right here on the BV Mobile Apps Podcast. Now it's that time, ladies and gentlemen, for fun facts, and this is the part of the show in which we ask questions to our client of BV Firstclasse on the telephone lines, and to get some information that many people may not know about Firstclasse.
Yeah.
Firstclasse has a son or a daughter?
A daughter.
She has a daughter. And how old is she?
She is a tenderoni. she's 20. She's 20.
She's 20. Okay, she's getting up. She's there. Well, I ain't gonna say getting up there, but she's there.
Yes, she's getting there.
And does she have your app? She has her app on your phone, on her phone?
Oh, absolutely. As soon as I got it, she was one of the first people that had to download me.
Let me ask you this. Speaking of social media, you do have some critics out there that feel like social media models or models on social media is taken away from the artistry of how models had to work and grind and do whatever it takes to get to where they are at now. What are your take on that really quick?
No, I don't think so. I think this is an evolving world. Musicians may feel the same way because they used to have to grind. Now they can just throw it on social media. So it's just changing and evolving, and everybody has to just kind of go with the flow and not worry about how easy it may be for someone else to get out there, I mean, we have reality TV now, so everybody can be on TV, so it's just an evolving world. I don't think that it should be viewed upon as just Instagram models, because if Instagram goes down, some of those people may not be relevant, but then some will be, so I think just keep evolving with the change. We live in a constant changing world, so just keep changing with it.
One more question. We're running out of time here, but let's make this question really quick. All right. When you're on a plane, does it have to be coach or first class?
First class, of course. I wish I was sitting coach. I have, though, but I had to go to Sky Economy because, I just, you don't have anyone first class? That's my name. Okay, well, then I'll deal with the Sky Economy, right behind first class. So I could do that.
See, that's why the name speaks for itself. All right, first class, once again, give them your contact information.
Okay, everything is at First Class, at FIRSTCLASSE. My Gmail again is Miss First Class, and that's how you can find me on any social media platform. And my BV mobile app is at First Class as well.
All right.
First Class, the model, I believe.
Nice. All right, First Class, the model, the entrepreneur, Fleet DJ member, and Fleet model. She does everything, all considered model, acting, Fleet, you name it. Make sure you download the app right now. First Class, thank you so much for joining with us right here on the BV Mobile Apps Podcast.
Thank you for having me.
All right, until then, ladies and gentlemen, this is Sean Garvey, the architect, signing off. Make sure you email us with your questions, feedback, and comments to podcast at bvmobileapps.com. That's podcast at bvmobileapps.com. Until then, we'll talk to you later. Follow me on all your social media at Sean Garvey ATL, at Beat Break Radio, and all things considered Beat Break Radio, hashtag Beat Break Radio.
It's a new year. It's a new day. We're starting it over, starting the day.
Thank you for listening to the BV Mobile Apps Podcast with your host, Sean Garvey. For more information about BV Mobile Apps, visit the website, bvmobileapps.com. Don't forget to follow BV Mobile Apps on social media at BV Mobile Apps. Tune in again next time on the BV Mobile Apps Podcast.